Hey, Badika Tribe, it's Wednesday and we are on the live topic. And today we're going to talk about how to build muscle. So I would be considered an expert in this realm just because I've been doing this for so long, and I've kind of found a way where you essentially start to biohack yourself. So what I mean by that is through my years of health and fitness training, I've biohacked myself. I've learned how to transform my health and my fitness in order for it to work for me. And so the reason I'm mentioning this is because I feel like that's so imperative for everyone, which is why I do personalized coaching. Starting from where you are and building you from that point to achieve your goals. And this is so important to really think about, because I feel like when you look at magazines or you're on a blog, or you're looking at YouTube or whatever, you're going to come across all these different teachings and techniques, and you're going to get multiple views and advice on how to train in order to reach your goals, or how to eat in order to reach your goals. And you really have to become a thinking type of person, right? You have to not just take the information and just follow it and think that that's the only way, but really start to think about it and start to biohack yourself, start to program yourself, start to see what's getting results, what's not getting results. So learning how to fish, per se, which is exactly what I do as a coach. I teach you how to think. I teach you how to put stuff together so that way you can make this a lifestyle and a lifelong journey. So when it comes to building muscle, there is so many ways that you can do this, but what I have found is that the ways that are very programmed in today's time are not the ways that you're going to build muscle. It actually takes a lot more work than what a lot of people want to put in, because it's very energy consuming. Not only the amount of food that you need to eat, or the amount of fasting to make the human growth hormone activate, or the amount of protein that you need to eat. Like, all those things are variables, but also how much training you need to put in, how much volume of lifting weights, how much weight should you be using when you're lifting weights. Like, all of these are pieces to the puzzle. You have to have like a concoction of things in order to really grow muscle. Now, if you are a complete beginner and you're going to start building muscle, you're going to see what they call newbie gains, okay? You're going to gain muscle really fast if you're training consistently, even if you're like training in a way that isn't progressive. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a moment. So newbie gains is going to be so easy for you. As long as you are showing up at the gym, you're throwing some weights around, you're doing full body movements, you are going to gain muscle as a newbie. Now, this starts to decline once you hit about 2 to 3 years, depending on your personal body and effort, okay? And then you are going to start to see the newbie gains go away. And that's when you're going to have to put in a lot more effort and consistency to get the same results, or to get even better results, right? So I like to say, I hope that your newbie workouts become your warm-up. And that's how you know that you're going to start progressing and building muscle. So there's some key aspects to building muscle though. For one, compound movements. So anything like a back squat, a front squat, a deadlift, a clean and jerk, a snatch, something that really uses your full body, that uses force, that uses speed, right? All those things are going to help you build muscle. So what you're doing is you're creating little micro tears in your body that then you want to recover, right? And when you are in your recovery time, which means recovery is important, when you're in your recovery time, you're starting to heal those muscles, which then create bigger muscles, which then you're going to want to break down again and then recover again. And the way that you recover these muscles is less stress, sleep. You need to sleep. And then you need enough protein and then sometimes calories. Protein can be sufficient enough to build back the muscle, especially if you implement healthy fats with that, because what that does is that actually amplifies the human growth hormone. You're fasting plus making sure you get enough protein, and then your calories will come from that healthy fat, which is why I always press the carnivore keto type of diet, because not only is it great for our hormones and our ancestral diet and our biology, like that is what we're made to eat, but you also can gain muscle just doing that. Carbs can play a role here, especially if you want to do some carb cycling, or if you just need extra calories, it can play a role. But as a health coach, I always want to emphasize that carbs aren't necessarily good for you, and it can decline your health. So you want to keep that in mind when you are picking a diet. And then also, like I said, you need to biohack that, right? So also when it comes to recovery, you do need enough sleep, because sleep is when your body is repairing itself. So if you're not getting enough sleep and you're training a lot, then you may not see the gains that you want to see. It will just put too much stress on your body. You won't recover well, and then so you'll be tearing up muscles without the amplified recovery on that end. So you need to keep that in mind, that recovery is a key piece in this. So if you find yourself that you're not being able to recover quicker or just recover enough in general, then you may want to actually reduce your training, as in 3 to 4 days a week, and spend the other days really recovering. And so on those training days, you would actually want to put in as much effort, maybe a full body session every single day. So that way you maximize your time in the gym, and then you still get that recovery. So I know I'm throwing out a lot of things with this because, like I said, there's many ways to build muscle, but that key point with the recovery and getting enough nutrition to recover, enough sleep to recover, and then that other point that I was just mentioning earlier that I said I would come back to is progression. So this is a huge key piece here, right? We want to always be challenging our muscles, okay? So if you get to a point past those newbie gains, right? You've just kind of been throwing in whatever workouts, no really focus, but you're still getting results, right? You're going to come to a place where that starts to stall out, okay? You're gonna hit a wall. And that's the part right there where you now need to start focusing and progressing. Okay, so this is huge when you're trying to gain muscle, okay? So at that point, you're going to want to start to progress upward. And the way that you do that, there's a few different ways, but for building muscle, you want some sort of volume. So anywhere between 8 to 15 reps. And then you're running around 3 to 5 sets, just depending on what it is. When it comes to your more compound movements, usually a 5-setter is good. And then you also want to think about your weight. Okay, so if you know your 1 rep max, which I highly recommend after your newbie gains, especially on your compound movements. Once you know your 1 rep max, you are going to want to keep your weights around 60 to 75% every time you do your volume sets. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you know where your 1 rep max is roughly, and then you're going to want to always be around 60 to 75% for at least 12 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. But then you want to retest those 1 rep maxes, or just get a feel on what they would feel like. And then once again, start doing volume at 60 to 75%. And you want to just keep progressing. Now you're going to have times where your energy is going to be low. You're going to feel kind of burnt out, right? And those are times that you want to do a deload. Okay, so your deload is for more recovery time. So you're actually going to decrease your weight or decrease your volume in combination, and you're going to do just lighter workouts. Maybe you just, cut some of your days down. Like you just don't train 5 days a week, you train 3 days a week, and you do lower volume, and it's kind of easier work. So you want to implement these deload times every 12 weeks or so that way you can fully recover and keep going on your progressive journey in your muscle building. Okay, so keep that in mind. I do have a question here from one of my current clients, and she asked, should I focus on reducing body percentage first and then add muscle, or at the same time? So once again, I feel like more so this is just personal preference, right? But I will say that there is a key aspect here where you can do a body recomp. And what that means is that you can actually build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Now, this really just depends on where you're already at as an athlete. So if you're already like you already have a lot of muscle underneath you, but you haven't done like a cut in a while, then a recomp may not really be the thing for you. You may want to just lose body fat, right? If you don't have a lot of muscle, you haven't really been training, you have a little bit of fat to lose, then you can probably do a recomp. If you have a lot of fat on you and either zero muscle or just a little bit muscle, then maybe you do a cut first and then build some muscle. But when you build muscle, you're going to want to have some sort of excess calories, whether that's fat-based, whether that's protein-based, whether that's carb-based. You're going to want to have some excess calories, anywhere between, 200 average, okay, to build muscle, because you are going to have to feed that recovery, right? So you're going to gain a little bit of fat. It's just part of it. You're going to get a little fluffier than you want to. I've been in a bulk phase pretty much all winter, and I usually do it every winter just because it's easier for me. I'm not running around as much. I'm not going on as many runs. It's just easier for me to do a bulk in the winter. So I always go into a bulk in the winter. I get fluffier during the winter. My diet isn't like 100%. It's more of the 80, 20, and usually during the spring and summertime, I'm at least a 90 and probably more like 98% perfect with my diet. So there's going to be seasons with your training. You're always going to fluctuate. It's that just knowing where you're at, knowing your numbers, knowing what you've been doing. How do you keep progressing forward? You're never going to get stronger or build more muscle if you don't progress forward. So when things get easy, re-challenge your body. Another thing with building muscle, and this is such a key piece that you're never going to find in a woman's fitness magazine, the modern, the ones that you see everywhere, okay, is if you are a woman and you want to build muscle or you want to tone, you need to lift heavy weights, okay? You're not going to get the abs that you want. You're not going to get the legs that you want. You're not going to get the arms that you want without lifting heavy weights and implementing a intense cardio session here and there, okay? It's just not going to happen. Muscle builds under strain. It builds under force. It builds under consistency and pressure, and it takes a lot of freaking work, guys. Like, if you want the results, you have to put in the work. You have to break through the pain portions of it. Like, if you're doing an exercise and you're in the rep range and it's burning the last 3 reps, or you fail the last 3 reps, then you're pushing hard enough. You have to push through the pain barrier. There's going to be a pain barrier and you have to break it. If you don't break it, you're not really building muscle. You're not going to progress. It's just not going to happen for you. So it really, truly does take hard work and consistency. So going back to that question, can you build muscle and lose fat at the same time? Yes in a recomp. But like I said, it depends on where you're already at. It depends on your goals. If I wanted to build more muscle or more strength, I'm going to focus on that. I'm not really going to be worried about losing fat at the moment. But if I really want to lose fat, then I'm not going to be super focused on, I'm going to be, that's not true. I'm going to be focused on building muscle, but I'm not going to be focused on so much of the food intake that I need to have in order to build muscle. So I'm not going to maximize my results, if that makes sense. If I'm going to lose fat, I'm still going to work on building muscle, but my recovery when it comes to nutrition is not going to be that. Like, it's not going to feed my muscles enough where I'm building muscle, but it will maintain it. Does that make sense? Because when I fast a lot when I'm working on losing body fat. I do a lot of fasting. I do a lot of high protein. I do a lot of healthy fats. My carbs are little to zero. Okay. That's the easiest way that I lose fat, and it's easy and I feel good. Okay. But I have biohacked this myself. Okay. So this might not work for you. And that's why it's so much better to do one-on-one sessions where not only do I get you started for 3 months, but then you know how to do it afterwards. But you know how to biohack yourself. You know what makes you feel good, what doesn't make you feel good after you've biohacked yourself. This is so personalized, it's crazy. It is good to get back to our ancestral diets and then proceed from there. See what happens, right? Experiment. That's what biohacking is all about. And so when it comes to muscle building, you have to have good recovery, really good nutrition, and you have to work hard. You have to put in the volume. You have to put the weights on the bar. You have to do the compound movements. You have to continually challenge yourself. So it's not necessarily that building muscle is hard. It's that building muscle takes a lot of consistency. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of progression. It takes a lot of new challenges and movement. Once you get comfortable in your workouts, you need to be seeking to get uncomfortable more, right? You don't stay in the comfort zone. You have to continually get uncomfortable, and that's how you keep gaining muscle and you keep gaining strength. So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this answers some questions about building muscle and gives you some ideas. But yeah, just reach out to me. And by the way, if you don't know, I do have a online program right now for $10 a month. So if you are a newbie to moderate and really even advanced, if you add weights. So when the weight gets easy, add more weight, right? To build muscle. I have a program for $10 a month. You can go to bodhikafitness.com and subscribe, and I will get you set up with the app that comes with video. It comes with a full body program for the whole week. So you'll have lower days, upper days. There'll be core thrown into that. You have the full body program, right? And it will get you results, okay? You can adjust this for a beginner. So if you're a beginner, you can cut these workouts in half. You can do half the reps and then just keep building yourself up. And then when you feel like it's easy with the weights that you have, then add more weights and keep doing the workouts. And that's how you progress. And this program will also get you ready for a barbell. So if you have never worked with a barbell before, cool. This is a dumbbell body weight program. A kettlebell could help you as well if you have a kettlebell. If not, you can use a dumbbell. Occasionally I throw in a jump rope, but it's rare. But yeah, so you'll have this program that will help you progress into barbell, which is super awesome. And then that will give you even more results because you can load a lot more weight onto a barbell. So if you are interested in that, you can either message me or just get onto bodhikafitness.com and subscribe, and I'll get you signed up to that. But yeah, so comment below what if this was helpful and what other videos you guys want to see. I have a lot of new ideas coming for 2022. There's some shifts going on in my life. So this is going to become a full-blown just lifestyle coaching page where we do obviously mind, body, and soul, just like we have been. But there's going to be a lot more lifestyle things that come into this. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about 2022 and conquering some more fear and anxiety and helping you through that and helping you work yourself into the lifestyle that you actually want, the person that you actually want to be. And I'm excited to coach more of you in 2022 and in the oncoming years. So talk to you guys later. Let me know what more videos you want to watch, and I'll catch you in the next one.